Of course, his opponent in the top right-hand side as the blue Zerg is going to be for Tunisia, Stephano. There we go.
And how multilingual are you? Do you?
So I learned some French in school. My main is Swedish. I do speak some English, I hear. And
Can you translate that? N'ai pas peur, ça va bien se passer?
Wait, what?
I have no idea.
What did you just say?
Whatever Stephano just said, that's my poor attempt at pronouncing
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I'm
if you
sure
put
there's
it
like,
up-
there's
if
like
you put it
8
up, I can
French
try.
people watching this right now.
Yeah, ce n'est pas peur. It's not too bad, I guess. I think. I don't know. I'm pretty crappy at it.
That's cool. We'll come back to it later.
Yeah, I'll work my French until then. So, do you speak any second language, Piggy?
Yeah, I speak Australian, English,
English and Australian?
poor English, and also half decent English. So
Oh, okay.
a couple of dialects.
That's cool. That's cool. So you're multilingual as well.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Of course, we are going to be going into Daybreak. It is going to be game 1, guys. This is, remember, a best of 5 series. It's not just a best of 3 anymore. So a little bit more room for series to swing back and forth. And it's going to be interesting to see how this one does go. Of course, Stephano, I mean, he surprised everyone and played a few fantastic matches in the group stage. He took out Muslim, who, of course, is a very good Terran player. Marinelord is a guy who's been super hot at certain points over the past year throughout Legacy of the Void, but this is one of his last big tournaments before he will be retiring from professional StarCraft 2, so he's looking to make it bang here, but we're just not exactly sure how good his form is. He's had a few fantastic matches, a few close ones, but it really is up in the air exactly how he's going to play this.
I gotta say, I'm very impressed with Stephano so far, because a lot of people are talking that, you know, he has always been a really good player, but since he hasn't been as active in the tournament scene as much as he was when in his peak, people said, you know, he can come through the qualifiers via Tunisia, etc., but, you know, when he gets to the main event, it's not going to be as impressive. He got through those really difficult group stages and made it all the way here, and he's actually doing a pretty decent job. That said, though, Marinelord right away coming in with his first Reaper and gets a drone the first thing he does.
Really nice pick-off there. Of course, Marinelord just going for a pretty standard pressure, but Stephano, he was skimping on Zerglings just a little bit. Did cop a bit of a grenade blast as well as the drone there with that grenade. And the Reaper getting a little bit of damage on the Queen as well, just being nice and annoying. Of course, would love to try and deny the first creep tumor that goes down, but we've seen with Stephano, he has this pattern of really just focusing on his injects and his creep spread early on, and then he explodes into that creep just a little bit later in the game. Meanwhile, Marinelord's side of the map, first 2 Hellions are coming out, and it looks like he's going to be going straight into a starport on the tech lab after that. Something which Stephano has seen, so he knows that this is probably going to be coming. Oh,
starting a Viking the first thing you do. I was expecting some Banshee harassment, but it's going to be interesting for Marinelord going in, trying to poke at the Queen as well. We have 2 Queens for Stephano though, so don't see too much damage from Marinelord except for the first drone there. Quite difficult though getting that creep tumor down.
Yeah, interestingly, Corvid Reactor is starting up here for Marinelord. This could, of course, just be a fake upgrade, hoping that Stephano comes in, sees it, is worried about Cloak, and then does pull out. I'm not actually sure on the cost of that upgrade, so not sure if this one's cheaper than the medevac one or not. But hey, Zerglings coming out here. This is a poor engagement from Stephano. He's trying to protect these drones, but all of his Zerglings go down, and now some workers as well. Oh, a big mistake here from Stephano. That lack of creep spread really hurting him. His Queens just weren't able to take part in this engagement. This Hellion Reaper is just going ham right now.
Way too many Lings have gone down already, and that Queen with a quite high energy is actually in the front as well. Could get killed off. 6 drones did go down. All the Lings have died as well. And I gotta say, this is very impressive for Marinelord to start things off. Right now, there's not a second transfuse even, so that Queen is a very viable target.
There's a really cool Raven transition going on behind this. Marinelord going to be heading towards mech probably, but for now, he's going to dive in with these Hellions, looking for more damage. Does see the Queens and Zerglings, and isn't able to get anything more done for now. The big problem for him, though, is this creep. The lack of creep spread for Stephano is really hurting his ability to get his Queens in the correct positions at the correct times, and Marinelord has controlled the pace of the game so well. Stephano's desperately trying to catch up in those workers, but Marinelord already has a 3rd command center on the way. His Viking clearing up so many Overlords, nabbing its 3rd kill right now. He's killing creep on the 3rd base. Marinelord is all over Stephano right now.
Yeah, this is basically death by 1,000 paper cuts at this point. Right now, I gotta say, Marinelord might even get surrounded by some of these links, but has done a fantastic job cleaning this up. And actually, some of the Hellions seemingly will survive, getting the last few of those links. And Stephano has had a really hard time getting those drones up, and as you pointed out, the creep spread took a long time to be established.
Oh, the first Raven's about to come into that main base, and it's going to drop a double auto turret in that mineral line. One goes down, a couple of drones do fall. The Raven continues to chase after them. A second auto turret goes down, grabs a few more drones. Even going to maybe get an Overlord. No, I think that auto turret will just barely run out before it gets it. One shot away from sniping that Overlord. But, oh man, look at the units lost tab. This is insane. 34 Zerglings, 12 drones, and 4 Overlords for only a couple of Hellions and a Reaper. This has been really good for Marinelord so far.
Yeah, Marinelord trying to run in with some links, though. Not too much defense at home for Marinelord right now.
Oh, wow.
Stephano coming in here. The Hellions do come back, though, and with some good micro. I think Marinelord should be fine. But 4 workers, fireworks, a lot of these SVs are going down.
Good little bit of damage there for Stephano, helping to equalize things. Does put himself into a small worker lead, but doesn't really have an answer for this Raven harass. And this was really interesting. Marinelord not going mech, but committing to a lot of Hellions and 2 Ravens with that energy upgrade. This is going to give him the ability to just keep poking in, dropping auto turrets and harassing this main base. It's all going to be about Stephano being really on point at shutting this down. He's got to pull those drones away very quickly. Stars get out of there. Only a single drone loss, even uproots the Spore Crawler. Sick control there from Stephano. Does go back in just a little bit too early. Oh, another auto turret. Marinelord being so annoying.
Yeah, and these Ravens are just spending energy for these kills. I gotta say, so far we've seen 16 drone kills for Marinelord. Stephano, though, once again coming in the links. He knows he needs to deal some counter damage if he wants to be able to pull himself back into the game. He's done a really good job in terms of drones, though. Even losing so many as he has, he's up to almost 70 workers.
Yeah, Stephano, surprisingly robust in his ability to bounce back. I thought after that early game he'd just fall way behind, and you know, he's actually done a good job of being greedy here as well. Only now starting to build roaches after getting his 1-1 upgrades, starting a delayed lair, and as you pointed out, Alex, he has droned right back up to 70 workers. So Stephano, despite a shaky start, is just so on top of all of his mechanics. The question is, does he know that this is bioplay? He did see some extra Marines there. He is committed to roaches. There's a nice double drop coming in here. Looks like Stephano might just barely have enough units to defend this for now. But there are a lot of units unloading right now, and Marinelord's going to be looking for the snipe on that 4th base.
He is, and well, with a stim here, he might be able to do so. Not too much for Stephano. He does have a few roaches, though, and Marinelord is forced back, does clear up the creep. Gotta say, Stephano, considering all this harassment, is doing a pretty good job of making sure the creep does move on forwards. And right now, Marinelord trying to push the issue here. I don't think he wants to go in too far, but buying some time for his Ravens again, coming in for a second time, and one Raven getting really low. And the auto turret doesn't get too much damage this time around.
Yeah, we'll get a roach kill, so it does deny a bit of mining. And, you know, this is very frustrating to deal with for Stephano. It's something where you know as Stephano, your opponent's only using energy there. You haven't actually killed off these Ravens. So it's very frustrating to constantly be taking damage over and over again from that harassment, even if it is just small amounts. Of course, the upgrades are now starting up for Stephano. Roach speed 2-2 on the way. No sign of if he wants to go into Hydralisks, Infestors, anything like that. For now, it seems to be just mass Roach Ravager.
Yeah, and that's a good burrow in the way. It would be great to see some burrow Roach play. But that being said, Marinelord right now going, he's stimming on forward, pushing the issue really far here. And it looks like Stephano will be able to hold on for now, though.
Yeah, that was a really ballsy maneuver from Marinelord. He thought he had enough units, but then a big swell of roaches came in from the north and does end up overwhelming that. Snipes down both Ravens as well with the Queens. A fantastic hold for Stephano because he only lost roaches. They're a pretty cheap unit. It's not that bad to lose them. Marinelord, he doesn't quite have as big of an economy yet. And after losing that, suddenly his supply is knocked way down. Hats off to that Hero Viking though. Jeez, that is incredible, Alex. 5 kills. It's about to get another one.
Yeah,
Stephano's got to get those Overlords off the map.
He could get a medal of sorts. Right now, though, Stephano is getting quite aggressive on the map. He's actually moving some slow Queens together with his Roaches and Ravagers towards the base of Marinelord. And Marinelord has spent a lot of time trying to harass here, but even with his drop, he will have a hard time if Stephano decides to attack. Stephano then pulling back.
Nice spine crawler placement here. Stephano actually going to pull drones. Not too sure about that choice. He actually droned up to 80 workers, so losing a few drones here is actually not a big problem for Stephano, since I do feel he's over-droned a bit more than he'd really want. Loses 8 workers here, knocked back down to 71. But hey, he's got a fully saturated 4th base, he's got lots of money. Stephano is maxed. The one problem for Stephano right now is his army is not getting any better. We talked about it before, Alex. He's not going Infestors, he's not going Hydralisks, he's not going Hive. He's maxed out, which means he needs to go and fight the Terran before the Terran maxes out, because Roaches and Ravagers are not an efficient unit. They cost way too much supply, so you've got to use them as soon as possible to take a trade. Right now, Marinelord, though, going into mass multi-prong mode, dropping a single Marauder in the natural, a drop going into the third, a double drop about to hit the main base. Stephano's reasonably well spread. He's catching the army in the middle of the map. It's forced to retreat. There's 3 drops in 3 of Stephano's bases right now. Is he going to be able to deal with this?
The main base is the one that looks most dire. We do see a Liberate as well, sieging up. All the Roaches do fall as well. Stephano will need to pull his main army, but does go to the third first. Everything in the main starts falling. The leverage being focused down as well. 11 drones went down. This is beautiful harassment for Marinelord.
Stephano's going to hit the front. He unburrows his Roaches underneath two of the siege tanks. His Ravagers and Roaches coming at the same time. All of the tanks of Marinelord go down. His Medivacs die to the corrosive pile, even while defending his bases. Stephano here with a very ballsy push. Does take out a lot of important tech units, but he is forced back for now. This Liberator in the main base of Stephano is still doing damage. But at the end of it, Stephano still survives with 61 drones. That was not the incapacitating move which Marinelord wanted it to be. He wanted to just kill 30, 40 drones there. But at the end of it, Stephano survives. He's still got this big Roach Ravager force. He's still in a good position.
If anyone can use Roaches, it better be Stephano. Right now, Stephano is going to use some Boat Roaches towards the northern side of things, towards that 4th base of Marinelord that is about to be set up. He's going for the flank in the southern corner as well. And here we go, Marinelord trying to deal with those Roaches. Stephano engaging right away. Those Boat Roaches actually going for the 3rd base.
There's so little. There's only 2 Medivacs. They've got almost no energy right now. Marinelord can't even afford to heal his units. And this next fight is so crucial. Stephano has a huge army advantage. It's not necessarily the highest quality army, but it is going to... Oh, it's actually a pretty bad engage on the front side, but the Unburrow on the 3rd is good. Already killing 6 SCVs, forcing a big evacuation. Stephano, he's going to try and land these Biles on the army in the middle. Marinelord not quite microing. He doesn't have any energy left. He can't afford to stim his units anymore. He's losing economy. He's losing the maneuverability on the front. And Stephano is just being relentless with this Roach Ravager force. Doing a very good job. Marinelord's finally pushing him back. He's holding on for now, but Stephano in superior position right now.
Definitely, and he's so quick to just start getting those Roaches back on the field again. Marinelord losing a big portion of his army, although it has a lot of potential in terms of value per supply. I gotta say, Stephano's army just seems so relentless in its pushing power. Right now, Stephano is just adding more and more Roach Ravager. He's not going for any kind of tech route, as we pointed out several times already. And Ravagers right now, when they do get those attacks without having to have the siege tank blast on top of them, they're really starting to deal a lot of damage to the bio.
Yeah, I mean, Stephano, it's not over yet by any means. Yes, he's got 40, 50 army supply advantage, but +3 attack just finished for Marinelord. His +3 armor is almost finished. If he can just get up enough Marine Marauder, in a max battle, he will destroy Stephano. But if Stephano can find a window to attack right about now, I think he might just have too much. He might be able to just roll over the top. There's just not many units here for Marinelord. He split off some units into a drop in the main base, which is not going to be able to help him in this engagement. The Ravager Corrosive Vial spreading over this bio, forcing Marinelord to constantly run backwards away from this force. And it looks like that Planetary Fortress is going to go down, Alex.
GG, and Stephano takes Daybreak, map number 1. And already, fantastic start to our first series here between these two guys.
Incredible ability to bounce back from that opening. I mean, there was like that point where I was thinking, oh no, is this going to be one of those series? Like the first 3 Hellions and a Reaper kill like 5 drones, 20 Zerglings, and he loses 1 Hellion for it. And I'm just there like, I don't think you come back from this as a Zerg player. But Stephano kept building those drones. He delayed his lair for a long time. Those 2 small Zergling counterattacks, one on the natural, one on the 3rd, picked off a few workers. And behind it, he took a smart risk. He said, I'm a bit behind. Let's just build no defensive units. Go back to 70 drones, get 2 Evo chambers, and then pump out Roaches. And it paid off in the end because Marinelord was like, I've done some damage. Let's build up my economy. I can give Stephano a bit of space. Stephano got back to even footing, and man, that Mass Roach Ravager just rolled over the top.
I think we all learned here that you never want to give Stephano space at any point in the game. Stephano, really impressive, I gotta say. When you see that kind of damage, especially as a Zerg player, I just react in the way like, okay, this game is kind of set right now. We gotta see Marinelord just pulling so far ahead. There's no way really you can try to save it. You gotta cut some serious corners. And Stephano, like, you see, okay, he lost like 20 workers and suddenly he's still up to 70.
Yeah.
It's like he's a drone machine. It's like watching Rhett almost at this point, like backing Wings of Liberty.
It was really cool. I mean, there's always the scary point with the Roach Ravager. You think, hey, the Roach Ravager player, he's got to fight before the Terran catches up in supply, or the Terran's just going to overwhelm with the better, higher quality maxed out army, the higher quality units. And there was that point where it was like, oh, Marinelord's being so smart. He's starting to drop everywhere. So if he can just keep Stephano back defending drops, catch up in army supply, he'll have this sick biotank force. He'll have better upgrades because his 3-3 is going to kick in a lot sooner. But I think what impressed me the most is Stephano's ability to be clutch. Even after all these years of not really competing that much, in the middle of defending 3 bases simultaneously from drops, and it wasn't perfect, but it was good defense, he somehow found the time not just to engage on the front, but to do a fancy engage. He burrowed like 15 roaches, moved them underneath the siege tanks, spread them a little bit, unburrowed them at the exact same time as his Ravagers came in and spread corrosive vials on the medevacs. And it was like,
it's beyond impressive.
that's just incredible. Like, even the other top Zerg players out there, very few of them would have the presence to actually set that up under that much pressure. So Stephano, he's still got that flair. He's still got that magic going for him. And he only needs 2 more games to go through to the top 8.
Indeed. It looks like we're ready for our next map. We're going to jump right onto Vani Research Station. And let's see how it's going to go with it right there.
Good luck. Good luck. Have fun, my little. I'm guessing Ma is just my little?
Yeah, in the, yeah.
All right. Stephano coming out there with a little bit of banter with Marine Lord, of course. Spawning down here in the bottom side, representing Tunisia, it is Stephano.
And his opponent in the northern side of things. Right now, down 1 in game is best out of 5. It is going to be playing for France, Marinelord.
The Lord of the Marines.
Yeah, they have the Marine King and then the Marine Lord.
Yeah, I mean, he had a pretty good game, last one. Yeah, I think it was a little bit surprising for him to, after that opening, end up falling behind. But it is very Marinelord to see a heavy Hellion opening like that. The really cute double Raven transition, I think it was good. Was it enough damage? I think so. I think it paid off for itself. But there was that moment where he did that push in the middle, also lost 2 Ravens as well. Maybe if he kept those Ravens just for harassment, that would have actually been a better use of them. Because as good as auto turrets are in direct engagements, there's always something to be said for a Roach Ravager player having no anti-air, no like mobile flying units being able to chase them down. But anyway, this is game number 2. It is a different map, a different story, Alex.
It is. I gotta say, something that really is interesting to me is the way we see Stephano in almost every single CVT so far, I think, getting burrow for his roaches and burrow movements. And it's something that's kind of impressing, to me at least, because we see several players going for just Roach Ravager. But Stephano's going to be the one who splits up his roaches individually and trying to burrow them underneath the siege tanks and just unburrow during the engagement. And that's actually a pretty big deal when it comes to it. So it's going to be interesting to see if he does something similar on this map. But I do want to point out, Vani Research Station, there is a big opportunity here for Terrans to go for those doom drop kind of plays, or even just heavy dropping into that natural base.
Absolutely. The Overlord is going to spot the Reaper coming across the map, so Stephano should be well prepared for that. Interesting to note, Stephano has opted for the back base, so he's got a very safe natural, a very safe early game, but securing his third and getting creep out front of it can be very difficult. So I could very easily see a bunch of Hellions once again coming in and finding a lot of damage if Stephano doesn't kind of change up his build order and get a faster creep tumor. A lot of the time his creep tumor is super late, and on this map, if you don't get that creep down that ramp, your queens just are not mobile enough to defend that wide open third base. So Stephano's going to have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, we're going to try to see how quickly he can get the creep across. He's going right away up to 4 queens. So should be able to start pushing it a bit at least. And once again, we do see Marinelord opening up with the Hellions. So very kind of standard build coming out from him. The tech tab as well, ready with a starport. And I don't know though. Like, he did play the Ravens in the previous game, but do you think he could do that several times in a row?
Maybe. I guess it seems kind of solid, right? Ravens are such a universal unit now, with the auto turret being this thing that's kind of just good. But it is very expensive on that gas, right? So I wouldn't be surprised to see a regular Cloaked Banshee opening. This is a map where the bases are so spread out that usually just regular Banshee play is very powerful. And once again, going for a Viking first, and I love this. This is coming back in into popularity. We've seen it so much. I think it was like Major versus a Laser, where Major's Vikings just kept killing so many Overlords yesterday. And it's just so good to deny that vision, open up the opportunity for Liberators to come in by surprise, drops hitting those bases. So very nice opening, and it looks like the exact same build here for Marinelord.
Yeah, it does look like that's going to be the case. Corvid Reactor on the way, and right now Stephano trying to get that creep across.
Yeah,
Marinelord, he gets the sniper on the Tumor.
Uh-oh, these queens are way out there. The queen with the energy is about to get focused down. Okay, the other queens are coming out, 2 more Zerglings, but there's that situation I was talking about where once again the Alien Reaper is making Stephano very uncomfortable. He's slowly getting out here. He actually used the energy on the queen with Transfuse to drop a creep tumor, but his Zerglings are out in numbers. The Hellion Reaper micro is good though for now. Another 2 Hellions are coming. Only 2 Hellions will fall here, and all of those Zerglings going down. Not a great trade for Stephano, but does hang on to his drone line. Is up in workers, so he is secure for now.
He did heal those queens up as well, so they're going to be okay for now. Not too many drones to focus down in the third base. We won't see Marinelord trying to dive in right at this stage at least. But once again, those Ravens are going to come out. The Overlord, though, might catch this, does see the starport, and now sees the Raven. So Stephano should be able to prepare for this in time.
He was quite distracted by the Hellions at the front, so I'm not sure if Stephano recognized that it was a Raven opening once again. That being said, I mean, it really is just about having a fast reaction more than anything else. He has only opened up with a single Spore Crawler on the backside of his base, so it looks like Stephano is assuming it's the same build. Probably did notice that Raven, not going for safety spores or a lair to get Overseers, so really not afraid of Cloak at all. Very nice, comfortable play out of Stephano.
Yeah, and here comes the first Raven. Going to go into that third base as these Hellions and the Reaper could try to pressure the front again, but with the 4 queens, Stephano's looking really, really solid. Having those queens right in position, denying this from the get-go, really loving this.
And his Zerglings jump on the Hellions and Reapers at the same time. I think he thought they would run in at the same time. Stephano, just a master of tactics, anticipating Marinelord's move, but he's just going to take a bit of a trade to push Marinelord back off Stephano's side of the map. And Stephano is really on top of everything so far this game. He is going to catch the Hellions. Marinelord hasn't even taken his third base yet. He's starting to transitioning into Bio Medevac. He's starting his own 1-1. But the upgrades are ahead for Stephano. He's up to 60 drones. His 3 base is very comfortable. I gotta say, man, Stephano is really impressing me in this tournament.
Yeah, I gotta say, that's a good word for it. I've been just thoroughly impressed with everything he's shown so far. He's dealing okay with the turrets as well. I think he lost in total 3 or 4 workers. But overall, like he killed all those Hellions, and the map presence right now from Marinelord is virtually non-existent.
The Raven coming in on the natural once again. Another auto turret goes down. This is so annoying. But one thing to be critical of, Marinelord's often been a little bit slow to focus down the drones, so he only just brought it up to a total of 8 workers killed just then, starting to finally focus fire the auto turrets on the drones, rather than a lot of the time before that, he was just kind of damaging the queens, putting them into the deep orange or the red, but not actually killing anything. So maybe a few small missed opportunities, but Marinelord now pushing across the map with a big force of Marines. He is way up in supply, and this Viking, 4 kills. The Ravens continuing to be annoying behind these bases. I think the damage is starting to pile up now. Stephano has no idea this is coming across the map. He's just started to morph Banelings. His queens are exposed. The 4th base is exposed. Marinelord, oh, his stim's not quite finished. Luckily, Stephano, he might be able to just barely hang on to this hatchery. He's going to go for it, but I don't think he's got enough Zerglings there. A little bit of a premature engage. Does catch a few of those Marines at the front surrounded, but all of his Zerglings are going to go down. Now he's just left with a few Queens and Banelings. Good focus fire micro from Marinelord. Takes down the Banelings. Now it's just Queens versus Marines, and it looks like Stephano is going to force Marinelord to lift, but not before Marinelord takes yet another fantastic trade. Look at that unit's loss tab.
Yeah, very nice here from Marinelord overall. He's just dealt so much damage in all these small engagements to Stephano. I want to point out as well that Hero Viking was actually killing so many Overlords that with the final Overlord, it supply blocked Stephano really heavily, so he couldn't make units for a long period of time, even after the engagement even started. So I've got to say, Marinelord right now really hitting all these important timings. Now Stephano's making 13 more Banelings. He's getting his Spire done, but he's still got to be able to deal with this harassment. The creep is right now being cleared out by Marinelord.
That's so important. This creep is really what's going to keep this 4th base safe. Stephano does get a wraparound, forces the lift off, and Stephano, he's down in supply. He's on the back foot a little bit. This relentless pressure has been very frustrating for him to deal with. But he is starting to stabilize a little. Catches the units in the middle of the map. Nice surround. Gets a lot of those Marines, but there is a drop hitting the back base. And his Queen there is going to be the only line of defense. Marinelord messing up his micro, actually. Only unloaded a single Marine. Bit of an error there. Missed his opportunity to get a lot more damage done.
Yeah, does get the Queen, but indeed he could have done a lot more damage. He's got to pull that medevac back. That's really close to losing it, but he's going to push across the map once again through the middle. Stephano right now having a bit of a hard time dealing with all this pressure, but Marinelord isn't confident enough to push through the creep just yet. Stephano has a lot of banings, baning speed about to be done together with that 2-2, and against 2-2 against 1-1 with baning speed can be a really difficult engagement here for Marinelord.
There's a really cool Queen that was spreading creep on the right-hand side that actually caught that medevac that escaped. So that drop did end up going down for free there for Stephano. And now going in for the engage, the Widowmine actually do friendly fire. Great splits from Stephano. He goes from being down 20 supply a minute ago to suddenly being up 20 supply. Shuts down Marinelord's push. He maintains a little bit of that creep spread back home. He might even have a window to do a big counter attack here. He's morphing Banelings outside of Marinelord's base. He's focusing on those medevacs. Marinelord's coming out to try and engage him. Great micro by Stephano, trying to spread out those Widowmine shots, but I think there's just a little bit too much bio. Stephano may have overextended here.
I think so as well. He was doing a really good job splitting against the Widowmines, but they did still hit a lot of Lings and Bane. So Marinelord holds on, but that was a really scary moment here for Marinelord. Right now, Stephano, though, does keep that really big supply lead, as it's right now making sure he's getting his second there. As he's making
I think that was
mutas.
just a misclick.
Yeah.
He's actually got 2-2 versus 1-1, though. This is part of why Stephano really wants to go kill Marinelord if he can. He wants to find these engagements, because he's still got about a minute before the 2-2 of Marinelord finishes, and that's a massive upgrade disadvantage there. The big problem for Stephano right now is he's only just started respreading that creep on the left-hand side. His creep on the right is amazing, but only now is he starting to, push back out on the left. He's adding a few more drones, getting his +1 weapons on his mutas. Really looks like he wants to prepare for that macro game, and just kind of, really play such a balanced style. Spine crawlers going up to cover his bases, spores. No sign of an infestation pit or hive just yet, but I love these mutas on the right-hand side as well. He's just waiting for a drop to fly over there.
Yeah, Stephano's map presence has become really strong after he dealt with that push out from Marinelord. And now, of course, I gotta say, Stephano's go up to his 5th base. Marinelord still stuck at 3. This is looking fantastic for Stephano, and he's still making sure those mutas patrol everywhere. Now adding the infestation pit as well, getting ready for the later hive play, and he's just giving up so well for the late game.
Marinelord is going for his second reactive starport and +1 ship weapons. He's already got +1 ship plating. He's going to be heading towards 4 Liberator production at a time. So we can see Marinelord's plan here. Get enough Mutalisks, Liberators to maybe just blast the mutas out of the sky, and definitely to just set up a crazy amount of Liberation zones on the ground, and have a lot of well-upgraded bio underneath. The question is, does Marinelord try to take a 4th base? It looks like he's going to float one down, but does he try to force the issue? Does he try to push with his first 8 Liberators? Does he just play a very defensive game and slowly try to eke out advantages? We've got to remember that Ultralisks were nerfed a lot by having 1 less armor. Well, I guess a decent nerf, 1 less armor against the bio in the latest patch of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. So Brood Lords are usually the much more common unit we're seeing at Hive Tech. Not sure how that will fare on such a big map, though.
Yeah, it can be difficult to use Broodlord here on Vani, but then again, just getting the Admiral Glance in 3-3 as well is a huge deal for someone who's going for this Ling Bane muta. But look at this, what a beautiful surround by Stephano, going for the 4th and the 3rd at the same time. Lots of Banes and mutas for the 3rd, and the main army of Stephano hitting that 4th base. 15 workers already going down. Stephano backing for the 4th. Gotta watch out though, that's a lot of Liberators towards those mutas.
Thought he was being a little bit overeager there, a bit of almost a disorganized assault it looked like, but he did take out a lot of SCVs, so Stephano is going to be able to escape with these mutas. Just has to make sure he doesn't take any more clumped up shots from those Liberators. These mutas getting a little bit excited right now, are going to have to fly on out of there. The Hive is about to finish. We'll see which direction Stephano wants to take. It's Marinelord. It's his turn to counter push now. There's not that much lava right now for Stephano, and he doesn't have enough Overlords. He's actually supply blocked on 180 supply. He's trying to set up an amazing flank right now, but I don't know if he has enough units. He's just going in with a few Lings and Banelings. Sets off a lot of Widow Mines, getting ready for the follow-up engagement. Marinelord's going to have to pull back and lick his wounds for the moment. Can't press the issue any further.
Yeah, that was scary though for Stephano. Didn't have too many Banes either, just about 10 or 12 or so, but very nice splitting. Every single engagement we've seen Stephano take has been him trying to split against the Widow Mines, and usually that's worked really well for him. I gotta give it to Marinelord though, he cleaned a lot of creep with that push, so he's keeping Stephano away from that fourth base and making it more and more easier to push through the map.
Another Zergling counterattack. He's going to come in, not going to find anything. He's going to go down pretty much for 3 there. The gold base is mining very heavily for Stephano. He's actually going to need a 6th base and maybe start taking a few gas guys in the near future. But Stephano's actually way oversaturated and he's building 6 more drones right now. So I'm a little bit confused about his exact direction. I think he definitely needs to be going towards those Ultralisks. He's getting tightness plating. No Greatest Fire on the way yet. He does have a bunch of Corruptors mixed in, so he will be ready for this heavy Liberator Force. It's all about the positioning. There is a Planetary Fortress over here. A lot of Zerglings, Mutas, and Banelings are coming in. Stephano looks like he wants to dive on top of that. This is a very ballsy engagement. If he doesn't kill the Planetary, this is going to be disastrous. The repair is good, and he actually holds on. Oh, man. He actually, I think he stopped repairing for a second there. That does barely go down. Still a costly investment for Stephano to do that much damage. He does kill 12 SCVs, takes down the 4th, sacrifices a lot of army for it. Marinelord might have a window to start pressing back across the map.
Oh, this one Liberator though, starting to get 7, 8. A lot of work is going down there for Stephano. But Stephano, of course, getting that Planetary was a big deal, of course, because of the fact that had he not killed it, we'd have that 4th base still mining for Marinelord. Does land another orbital command, of course, and now he's going to push towards that 4th base of Stephano. Stephano going for the counterattack with some links and setting up with his Ultras. It all comes down to this engagement now with the Liberators.
Big push. He's deep on creep. Ultras, Zerglings, and Banelings going to be powerful, but there's not really any Banelings. It's almost pure Ultralisk, Queen, Muta, Corruptor, and into Liberation Zones. I don't know how that will go for Stephano. He's going to try and take the fight, but I don't think that's the right idea. Yeah, he's got to wait for 3-3. He needs to abandon this base if he has to. He's going to try and save it. Keeps getting his Ultralisks picked off. His Zergling counterattack gets cleaned up. Marinelord push is looking very powerful. So far, he hasn't really taken any damage, and he's taken out a base and a few Ultras, but Stephano is getting prepared to roll in on top of this.
This is getting very, very interesting, especially without those Banelings. Gotta have to snipe those Liberators if you want to have a chance to come in with the Ultras. Yeah. We do have some transfusions, but those Queens are not on full energy.
He needs more Banelings, really. They're the supply-efficient unit that's going to allow Stephano's smaller army to actually do well against this. He can try to fight on the edges like this, but you can see the ranged army of Marinelord is doing pretty well for itself. Finally, Stephano's going to roll in. The Mutas, Ultras going in on top of everything. A lot of the Mutas taking some big Widow Mine shots. Stephano's afraid to force his way into those lib zones. It is a very scary area to engage. The creep has now receded from that part of the map. Stephano here, he's dancing with death. He's still got 2 mining bases, but he has to hold on to this center one or he's going to be too far behind in that income.
Marinelord decides enough is enough. He's going to go back to his 4th base while he's setting up for that drop towards the natural of Stephano. Was supposed to have a double drop, but one of the medevacs actually messed up a bit, so won't have anything in it. Stephano's still trying with his Ling run-bys, might get into the main base. Just not enough time for him as Marinelord does close off. But I gotta say, Stephano right now looks pretty eager to start pushing on forwards.
Yeah, he did forget Adrenal Glands. That is one thing which is slowing him down, but 3-3 Zerglings are still so good. And he's continuing to add in a big, hefty count of those Zerglings and Banelings, which is a great way to complement this mobile army. But remember all of these hits that Marinelord took to his economy do put him in a pretty limited position himself. He's adding Ghosts, trying to make like a perfect Ghost Liberator Bio army, but he's only going to have one use on that army. His economy is so small, he's barely even going to be able to max out with it. It is going to be a massive army because he's only got 40 SCVs, but it's a one-punch army. It's super valuable. If he loses one fight, it's all over. The question is, can Stephano actually take on this army?
It's going to be so difficult, especially without those Brood Lords. You gotta kill off the Liberators if you want to have a chance. He does set up a flank, though, and that's a big army for Stephano. Not much anti-air, though. You do have a few Corruptors, but mostly it's just Ultra Queen.
Corruptors and Mutas actually find a few Liberators on their own while the Zerglings pull back the Bio. The Ghost, oh man, all the Ghost gets around and Stephano sees his moment. He dives on the army at the front, catches Marinelord's army in disarray. This is the engagement he was looking for. His Ultras are able to blast right through the Liberation Zones, come out the other side strong and healthy. Every single Liberator goes down. The Ultras, the Corruptors, the Mutas going to pull back. They're going to try and focus down this Planetary. Realize there's still a little bit too much bio. We'll have to pull back, but at the same time, the Zerglings are in the main and the natural, tearing apart the economy and infrastructure. Stephano takes an amazing trade there, goes up in army supply, way up in worker supply, and the Lings are still causing huge amounts of damage in that main base.
What a big turning point for Stephano, and still dealing so much damage. Marinelord losing all the scores as well. That was such a big moment for Stephano. Getting that catch, such a brilliant move with all these run-bys. Now Marinelord has to decide how he's going to try to defend this Planetary, because Stephano's getting ready for another swing by. And look at
this.
The Liberates are not defended whatsoever.
Stephano is so decisive and he's so good with his tactics. He always recognizes when he pulls Marinelord's attention away and always pokes at the front to see if there's any exposed Liberators. This is just insane. If Stephano actually goes up 2-0 against Marinelord, this will be insane, but he's still got to close this game out. He's got to take down this Planetary. The Caustic Spray all over the Planetary. It goes down in an instant. Only loses an Ultralisk for his troubles, and Marinelord's income is down in the gutter. Let's take a look at that income. In the bottom right-hand side, you guys can see there is only 900 minerals a minute versus 2,500 minerals for Stephano. So Stephano's got 2.5 times the income right now. He's got a lot of healthy bases. He's replaced a few creep tumors on the map. His Zerglings are continuing to look for the counterattack. There's no wall in the main base. They're going to get in one more time.
And the Liberator can't do anything against this. The starport is slowly burning down. Stephano just ruining the infrastructure of Marinelord, and even more importantly almost, pulling him back, making sure this Marinelord can't set up that 4th base that he just needs so badly. Excuse me, 5th base. But still, the economy right now for Marinelord is so low that he can't just be everywhere. He can't make enough units to deal with all this.
Stephano, not actually that far ahead in supply right now. Does start to bank a little bit of money there, though.
I think he's saving for the Brood Lords he's about to set up with the Great Spire.
Yeah, I think so. He's going to need a little bit more gas for that, though. He has taken the gas on the 4th base and the gold, so he will be getting there very soon.
Finally, Adrenal as well. I've been waiting for that upgrade for a while now.
Yeah, that's going to make a big difference on any future counterattacks. Marinelord here has got very few tools to work with. We were talking about that one expensive army he was building, but losing the ghosts on the backside and then losing all the Liberators on the front, it just tore all the expensive units out of this army. And even though Marinelord's army supply is even right now, it's almost all Marines and Marauders. There's 4 Widowmines, 4 Liberators, 6 Medevacs. No ghosts out right now. 3 more are going to pop in the near future, but it's going to take forever to Marinelord to actually max out and add those expensive units back into his composition. Meanwhile, Stephano mining a lot more, spreading creep across the map, setting up more of these huge Zergling counters. Stephano is in the driver's seat right now.
Yeah, and right now trying to mark against this Widowmine. And actually, a huge run by one. Once again, could try to go into the main base, but there is a supply depot this time. So we'll turn around, but he's still forcing Marinelord to always be so cautious.
Yeah, these Zerglings, even on their own, they actually represent a big threat to this little squad of bio that went to deal with them. And each time Stephano forces Marinelord to spread his army out, it opens up opportunities for Stephano to engage a smaller piece of the army, or simply to fight him on 2 fronts at once, where the units of Marinelord, they're ranged units, they all work together to create one very powerful army. If you spread them out, if they're not able to be microed effectively, if they don't have the support of all the Liberators and Widowmines, suddenly the bio just isn't that effective.
Stephano's going for almost the ultimate late-game composition. All missing right now is Vipers, I guess, but we're going to see Marinelord trying to do the same. Did have the Fusion Core, but Stephano making sure he doesn't lose that forward base. I guess with this final base that Stephano can take, this final kind of source of income, things will get really, really heated, since you have to be able to defend it and you are so close to your opponent at all times.
Absolutely. Of course, Stephano's been a lot less efficient this game because he's been able to mine more resources, because he's been knocking the economy of Marinelord down. It's been able to do that and pull it off. He's hitting the front with these Zerglings. Meanwhile, the Broodlord's starting to move up on the front side. But he actually doesn't have many Corruptors left. He's morphed them all into Broodlords, which means he doesn't have anything to get rid of the Liberators. So Stephano potentially missing an opportunity there. If he had a few Corruptors, I mean, those Liberators just had nothing protecting them. His Broodlords walked up to the Liberators and then realized, wait, we don't shoot up. Turned around awkwardly and went back. A drop coming into the back from Marinelord, and he's going to run forward and try to snipe off this base.
Yeah, gotta watch out though with the Ultras and the Broodlords. It's kind of difficult to do so, but very aggressive Liberator positioning here from Marinelord. Drop does get dealt with by Stephano. Stephano needs to get those Corruptors out though. He's up to 9 right now, adding 5 more, so it's gonna be 14 of them. He keeps this supply lead, but I gotta say, for such a late game kind of composition from both players, we have pretty low supply still. I mean, Stephano's not even maxed out. Marinelord at 150.
Marinelord is going to try and drop down the left-hand side of this map one more time. I mean, he's got the drone count of Stephano down a bit lower, but Stephano's running so dry on his bases anyway that he doesn't really need that many. I think Stephano can really start a Doom push right now because there's no Vikings out. It's just 9 Ghosts. They don't have Cloak. They don't have that much energy. So it is going to be all about Stephano just edging forward with these Broodlords. He's pushing in right now. The Liberators are trying to siege up, but that base just falls so quickly. The 5th base of Marinelord goes down. The Zerglings trying to deny that right-hand side. The double drop will be shifting in the backside in the near future, but it hasn't hit just yet.
Not just yet. He's going all around the map to try to get this double drop off, and Stephano's units are all in the front, so it could start dealing some damage. I think he might be looking to go for the tech here of Stephano. Actually, he's dropping into that 3rd base of all things. Go to try to deal some damage here.
Meanwhile, Stephano's up on the gold base. Nice micro from Marinelord to get behind the minerals, but that Ultra's finally got around behind there and did start to clean that buy up. More Zerglings running around the right-hand side, trying to get in the main. That double drop diving through the bases, distracting Stephano right now. But I do feel like Marinelord is a little bit desperate. He's got to do something more. He can't just pull a few Zerglings home. He's got to establish that base on the gold. He's got to establish this middle base. And Stephano's coming forward with that air army. He's got something to say about it.
And that's a scary army. Right now, Marinelord needs a way to deal with this. He does have a lot of Ghosts and Liberators, but against the Corruptors, he really has to make sure he can defend those Libs. Right now, the Planetary is getting attacked. The repairs are not coming off as they're supposed to, and the Planetary falls. Right now, Marinelord having such a hard time to get his economy up.
He's trying to push forward onto the gold to limit Stephano's income, but Stephano's still happily mining from that central base. His own Broodlords, Corruptors, and Vipers are coming forward. Some snipes landing on the Broodlords, but not actually killing them, only wounding them. The Corruptors coming forward, starting to snipe off these Liberators. There's still Overseers providing detection above. The Queen Transfuse is good. All of the Broodlords are standing strong. Marinelord's army falls apart, and Stephano takes a 2-0 lead in this best-of-5 series against Marinelord. We might actually be seeing the Tunisian champion going through to the top 8, and I really thought Marinelord was going to destroy him in this series. So I'm very pleasantly surprised by this turn of events.
I gotta say, I am beyond impressed and surprised, to be honest, because I was also favoring Marinelord for this matchup. But well, I gotta say, it's been really cool to see just how Stephano keeps these run-bys at all points in time. Like, even in the super late game, he's using Broodlords and he's using his Ultras and everything. He still makes about 30 or 40 lings, sends forward one to just trigger the Widowmine so he doesn't mess up his run-by. Then he just goes for it. And we saw probably one of the most key moments when he caught, what was it, like 10 Ghosts or something? Like, really crazy just before the engagement as well.
And because it panics Marinelord, he's like, no, I can't lose those Ghosts, pulls the army back, and the units come forward on the front and snipe Liberators off and stuff. And it's like, great positioning from Stephano. And that really is those details and how he positions his engagements, how he uses his counterattacks is what's always made him such an incredible player. He's so good at setting up those fights, those tactics, those engagements. You know, you can point out small macro errors here and there, but I mean, they're so meaningless in the big picture where Stephano's constantly finding good engagements, and somehow he's making very experienced players look kind of poor at dealing with counterattacks. The Lings just keep finding openings. Yeah,
it's something that I've been missing in a lot of the series we've been seeing. Both these really cute moves they often see just at this super high tier of StarCraft, like these individually split roaches underneath siege tanks, these run-bys as well, and just the fact that you saw when Stephano got his Mutas, for instance, he just doesn't go in with them. He actually keeps them around to make sure he doesn't get drops, rather. So really cool, small things that really makes this match. But of course, this is Marinelord we talked about. I mean, this guy who all killed Korea once, you know, we can never count him out completely.
Exactly. He made it to the finals of DreamHack Valencia last year as well. A big surprise run there. And we are going to be seeing where this series goes, guys. Will Tunisia close it out with the 3-0, or will France fight back? We are going to be going into Habitation Station and spawning up here in the top left-hand side of the map our red Zerg player, it is Stephano. Of course, representing Tunisia in this tournament. And already opening up with a cheeky build there.
Uh-huh. His opponent, of course, in the top right-hand side, the blue Terran from France. It is Marinelord.
And we are going to see a gas go down. Yep, gas goes down. So this is the one base Ravager roll-in that we saw do so well yesterday on stream when a laser did it to Major. Yep, 2 gas geysers. So basically the Zerg player only sits on about 14 drones for the entire game. Makes a lot of Ravagers and tries to kill the Terran. And because Terran players have been so worried about pool first openings, about early Zerglings trying to get over to their side of the map, the Reapers haven't been scouting. Terran players are always skipping the SCV scout, even on this map where this is so common. Their Reapers not going across the map to scout, so they're usually getting a very late warning that these Ravagers are coming across, and this is completely all in. Yesterday we saw Major actually hold this with a very fast Cyclone or 2 popping out, but then he thought he'd held it. So he kind of swapped into building SCVs, rebuilding a reactor, started the Widow Mine, and the next wave of Ravagers actually killed him. So Marinelord, hopefully he saw those games or is a little bit more familiar with how to hold this. Otherwise, Stephano might just clean sweep him.
I just gotta say, I love that Stephano goes for the pool, double gas, and then cheekily like GLHF exclamation mark. As you see on ladder almost. But hey, right now we're going to see a pretty quick Reaper coming out here from Marinelord. He's going to be able to scout what is coming up, but the roaches will already be on the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting what he does with this Reaper. He's actually queued up a second Reaper as well, which is a very odd little adjustment here for Marinelord. And it really depends. What does this Reaper do? It looks like it is just going to go straight across the map. And I think this is an adjustment for Marinelord, where it's specifically designed to stop those early pool Zerglings with the second Reaper, which means his first Reaper can scout. So this is a much safer opening than what Major was doing. And it's going to allow Marinelord to get a very early scout of what's going on. He sees that there's no third base. He needs to go and see these Ravagers. The Ravagers and Roaches have left the base. He hasn't spotted it yet.
Oh, he just missed them. They walked past each other just barely. No, actually, Marinelord's going back.
He sees no natural now. He knows that something's up, but he doesn't know what it is yet. His
did he see the
Reaper is
roach?
looking for Zerglings right now. He's thinking maybe it's a Ling Bane all-in. What's going on? The Ravagers have come out. His Reapers have flanked around them. His factory's not even done. He's got nothing at home. I don't know how he's going to defend this.
This will be so hard. That's not even a full wall-off, is it? He's actually focusing the bunker. The bunker is already falling really low. He can one-hit that. There we go. Bunker is down. Factory's not even finished. And Stephano, he could start walking up here, but he's going to start focusing down the supply depot. It's the first thing he does.
The Reapers intercepted the reinforcements, traded a Reaper for a Ravager. So now it's 1 Reaper, 1 Marine, a Cyclone on the way up against a relentless rally of Ravagers here. Marinelord's going to continue to try and micro with this Reaper down there, but that Reaper's going to go down. It does fall, and that means there's 4 Ravagers at the front. The barracks and factory both getting dangerously low. I'm surprised he's focusing the barracks over the factory. The factory is the important structure here. He's going to get out the Cyclones. Much more powerful unit. But even the factory is dangerously low right now. That first Cyclone is about to pop out. But I don't know if it's actually on time. Actually goes with a preemptive Bile trying to catch the Cyclone rally. Great micro back with these Ravagers. Needs to try and focus down these SCVs and that Cyclone. He is just great micro out of Stephano. And remember, there's no end in sight for this. Marinelord only just now queues up his second Cyclone. A bit of a delay there. He was so busy microing. He's got to repair that factory. One more round of Biles will kill the factory. If the factory goes down, then it is all over for Marinelord. He will have no production left. The factory
goes down. Wow. Only one
it.
Cyclone left, and you can't micro this with only one Cyclone. You have so many Ravagers. Stephano with what an aggressive build.
Man, this is it. It's 1 Cyclone and a few SCVs. Marinelord, there's nothing he can do. And Stephano with a convincing 3-0 goes through to the quarterfinals, bags himself another $8,000, and will have the chance to play against TY in those quarterfinals. Which actually, I mean, a lot of people a week ago would be like, well, that's going to be a one-sided match. But what we've seen from Stephano so far, who knows? He might even be able to put up a good fight there. What a win, man.
What a way to win. 3-0 against Marinelord. This is a surprise, if anything. What a result. I gotta say as well, his ZVT is looking surprisingly good.
Not just cheesy builds either, right? That game 1 where he was getting like knocked around by Hellion Reaper and Raven Harass, and he's like, nah, I've still got 70 drones. It was like, it's like when you're watching those next level players where it looks like they're losing, and then you look at the numbers and you're like, oh, yeah, they were actually macroing so well in the middle of that.
It's like anyone else right now should be dead, but you're not for some reason. I don't know.
Exactly. It's insane, man. So I mean, he's going to be going through, you guys can now see the bracket that we've got there. So it is going to be Showtime taking down a Laser 3-0. We'll be facing XY in the round of 8. Scarlet took down Jim 3-0. She's going to be facing Maru up next on the main stage. Of course, we'll be up on the main stream. I believe we'll be broadcasting it here as well on the StarLadder SC2 stream. Namshar and Nurtio. Nurtio took the 3-0 versus Namshar, and it is Nurtio versus Neeb there. And then Stephano versus TY to round out that top 8. So, guys, it's been a fantastic run so far. We, I think, are going to jump straight into that match on the main stage very quickly, so we won't bore you guys any longer. Stick with us.